And then I started when it was just piling up. So everyone very friendly, workers and bosses all work very well. And then after 14 years, the workers and the bosses start going astray. Okay, I'm part of the boss lah, but I'm not. I don't agree with most of the bosses lah. I'm very friendly to workers, but a lot of bosses, they because their gaji is so high, it's maybe that corrupted them. I don't know. Their salary of some of the bosses are extremely high. Can compete with oil and gas easily. So they feel they're better human beings. I mean, superiority complex or whatever lah. Okay, so they didn't treat the workers properly after that. And then when we conduct interview, because we are one of the highest paying people in Kuching, we have actually 1 kilometer of line going out of the factory, 1 kilometer. So the bosses get arrogant. So they talk to the workers like this: "Hey, you don't want to do like this, I fire you lah. You see the queue waiting to get in is 1 kilometer." It's very egoistic attitude. Actually, it's not at all true. To fire, you must know this lah. To fire a worker and get a new one is extremely expensive. I can show you. I showed you the data of the accident. Okay, how much when a finger cut to get a new worker to replace that person. You see how much it is. So it is always better to keep the old workers. Okay, the money that you lose by getting a new worker, training, the mistakes they make in the production, I mean, they might have a bad attitude. It's better to work on changing the bad attitude. Sometimes, like football season, World Cup, somehow all the grandmother will die. They need leave, this kind of attitude lah, and then the boss get angry. I fire you. I get a new worker, which is wrong. I don't know why the bosses are not trained. I'm not high enough to advise them. I'm just a senior engineer. There are a lot of people much higher than me, managers and all that, with super salaries lah. Okay. So they just talk to the workers very arrogantly, and then the workers get angry. They said, "Let's start a union." Okay. One group said, "If we start a union, maybe they'll listen to us." Okay. So they went to KL, and I think someone told me actually went to KL, start a union. Immediately, the big boss of Western Data flew down. His gaji is 12 million per year, US dollars. Okay. The big boss flew down. But he's a disciplined guy. He flew down in Asia. Okay. Maybe a business class, I don't know. But he said everyone use Asia, so he also used Asia. So he come down, and then he talked to all the people involved in this union. And then he gave us a big meeting. That means the bosses lah. There are about 200 of us, engineers. People with degree lah, basically. He gave us a briefing. He said, "It's not a worker's problem. It's your problem. You caused this. Okay. I gave you 1 month to solve this. If not, I'm shutting down the factory." So I went. We started working as normal, and then somewhere half month, I asked the engineer beside me. He is much higher than me lah. Probably double my salary. "Hey, Chai, I thought the white man said we must do some activity to make friends with the workers. Why no activity?" Chai said, "They can try. A bit arrogant lah. They can try. They won't succeed. You know why? Western Digital bosses have very close link with Sarawak government. So they feel they got ultimate power in Sarawak. Nothing can disturb them. But American bosses, they don't care about Sarawak politics. Okay, they look at their own benefits. You see, the local bosses didn't realize a union is never If you have a okay, this is USA. This part of USA got union. This part of USA no union. They never had union. Okay, so my factory HQ is here, Silicon Valley. Okay, so if Kuching agree to a union, Western Digital has 50,000 workers worldwide. Okay, Kuching only about 2,500 like that, but worldwide they got 50,000 workers. If Kuching say okay, since the workers want union, they make a union. You know what's going to happen? All the other countries, Western Digital Factory will say, we also want union. Eventually, it will come to here, come to Silicon Valley. You know what's going to happen? We don't sell to a lot of people. We sell to big computer makers like Dell, HP, like that, Acer. All the big computer makers, laptop makers, like that. So Dell and HP are some of the biggest lah. Okay, I think the biggest. They'll say, hey, why you bring union to Silicon Valley? We don't want to buy from you. We buy everything from Seagate. We ask Seagate to expand their factory. You cause problem only. You bring union to Silicon Valley, which never had union. You see, the local management didn't realize this story. I know because I studied here, but I was not high enough to recommend them. So anyway, so you see that the issue with the white man boss is that his factory was shut down. Not just the Kuching factory, his whole Western Digital was shut down because of the union in Kuching. So they have to, no matter what, get rid of the union. If the Kuching management cannot get rid of the union, they have to shut it down. There's no choice because the whole Western Digital will die. Okay, so union is so serious. The local management didn't realize that. There's only about 2 or 3 of us, of the 200 who are educated in USA. The other 2 definitely don't care lah. They were very high up, the other 2, but they don't care. Okay, I knew about it from the very beginning, but they won't listen to me. So, after 1 month, all of us had to go to canteen. We have a very large canteen, and then canteen we got broadcast direct from our boss in USA. And then in that speech, he told us we are shutting down Kuching. Okay, so suddenly news got into all the local newspaper, Borneo Post, the Times Sarawak Tribune, all this big news. Western Digital Kuching shutting down. And then they said, due to economic crisis, it's totally not true. It's because of this political issue. Basically, workers not being friendly, bosses not being friendly with the workers caused the whole shutdown. And Western Digital shutdown is not just Western Digital shutdown. Later, about 1 year later, 1 or 2 years, I forgot. About 2 years later, Samina is also an American factory next door, our neighbor. Exactly the same thing. Workers quarrel with the bosses, shut down. So that's why I advise you guys never be arrogant to your workers. When you become engineers, I've always had a very friendly attitude, and I find it so advantageous. I don't know why people like to be boss. The other guy who was studying in America also, he said he need to be bossy because that's what he read in a book. You know what book he read? Oh, shit.
What book, sir?
Okay. This one I tell you. I don't know if you read this book. Have you ever heard about it?
No, sir. This is first time I
Yes,
heard
sir.
about it.
Oh, who have heard it? Someone said
The
yes.
Chinese one.
Yeah. Yeah. So this guy, he said, he read this book, he read it very well, and that book said he must act like a boss. So I didn't read the book, of course, but I'm not interested in that guy. But you see, the only story I heard about him is he was some kind of a sensei, right? And then he learned about war. He went and studied properly about war. And he went to a king, maybe emperor. So I can make anyone soldier. You give me a chance. And then the king, king like to enjoy in China. Okay, these dancing girls here, you make them king. Make them warriors, make them soldiers. So he immediately asked them, start marching. So, dancing girls, they're giggling. They never marched before. And then he went and look, which one is giggling the most? Okay, step forward, chop off the head. Oh my God. That's where my friend got it, the idea, see, this attitude of very harsh management. So I'm totally against that. I mean, for one thing, I don't know. I totally don't agree that he cut off the girl's head. That's why that kind of attitude, he said he must be bossy because he learned from this book. I'm totally friendly with my workers. But later, one of the white men boss came to me and talked to me personally because I'm too friendly with the workers. And then he said, okay, you can be friendly to the workers, but you must set the rules. Okay? Come late means come late. For us, come late means 1 minute later, 1 minute later, 3 minutes later, you are fired. That's the rule of the factory. Because we cannot have someone missing. So I actually enforce the rules. Come late, 1 minute later, 1 minute late. Okay? So 1 minute means our production starts at 7, 6:50, 6:51, 1 minute later. Okay, it's different from, I know government and other places, they are a bit low, but in factory, there's a discipline. So that's why I think Western digital workers have learned discipline a lot. Yeah. So I did enforce the rule, giving 1 minute later to people who come late. Because he's white man. He's a white man, quite okay guy. I think he's very friendly to workers. The workers love him. He's a white man, so the workers will, before go and see him in his big office, they'll buy some beer, one crate, one 6-pack of beer, and we'll put him on his table and start talking to him. That's what I heard, So, but every worker like him, but discipline is you must. Discipline is discipline. You must stick to discipline. Okay. But that guy is his name is Kevin Tompkins. Okay. So Kevin Tompkins, he was a USA guy, Vietnam vet, but he was in Southeast Asia most of his life. And his function is to, any factory that is going down, he will join and he'll bring it up. He knows how to bring up factories. Okay, so Kuching factory also was really going down. He came and then he brought it up. Okay, so he was very good lah. I mean, his attitude towards the workers, even to me, he was very friendly to me. He taught me how to discipline workers as well lah. Okay, you must set the discipline. If not, you have problem with workers coming half an hour late, 1 hour, and then if you let 1 hour, you come 2 hours. 2 hours become 3 hours. It's like that lah. Discipline gone, the factory cannot run. Okay. So that's why lah. So basically, you cannot have the attitude of being very bossy to workers. It doesn't work. Maybe that censor out of war. I'm thinking like maybe it could have worked in an ancient time, during the Roman time or ancient time, when they're building pyramids, okay, you use slave to build it. I don't know if it's true, okay. The normal story that you read in Western book is the slaves built the pyramid. I have doubt about it. I think it might not be true. Okay. I believe the pyramid builders are very highly intelligent people. But anyway, when you move from building structures like the pyramids to high tech, the attitude towards the worker must change. You know why? You see, we are very critical in our process in Western Digital, but our neighbor factory is expat. Okay. Okay, this is our neighbor factory, expat. Expat is making the chips, you know, the microprocessor. They make mostly microprocessor for cars, you know, like BMW, all these people buy from them. They're Germany's biggest chip maker. Okay? Mostly for automotive. Okay? So I went for interview there. And after the interview, I decided to do my PhD because I cannot answer most of the questions because, you know, as a supervisor in the factory, I'm running about between 30 to 100 men under me, men and women, they call them men. Okay. We lost our engineering. Our daily routine became this guy taking leave, that guy not taking leave. I lose my engineering after 5 years of becoming a supervisor. So after that, I decided, no, I need to get back to education and start doing a PhD. I mean, part-time okay. So I went to this interview. The interviewer, I failed the interview because I lost my engineering. So the interviewer told me, if someone during lunchtime go out and have a meal and come back and bring a grain of salt and throw into their chemicals, they got so many chemicals, but they throw into any of the chemicals, chemical tank, the whole factory of expat production will be gone. They need to drain out all the chemicals because they don't know which one is bad. They got to drain out all the chemicals and restart again. It's terribly expensive, millions of dollars of money gone just with one grain of salt. So imagine how well you need to treat the workers, not to bring in a salt from after a meal. Okay, one grain of salt can destroy the whole production. So you have to be very good to the workers when that's the situation. When we are building pyramids, you can observe everyone, you can treat them like slaves. But over time, when you go more and more high tech, you treat your workers bad, they can do something to you. Okay. Generally, when I work in America, I stayed 6 years in America doing my bachelor and master. Okay. They tend to treat the workers much better. Because you know why? America, everyone has a gun. Everyone has a gun. There are some states, like the state that I studied, where you can buy your socks, you can buy a shirt, you can buy, next door is a gun, next door is a bullet. Like you can buy your shirt, you can buy your gun and your bullet. Of course, we were poor. I went to the US without money, so we can afford, like, it's about $100 one gun. But some of those times, the Cebu rich fellows, rich students, they buy guns. $100 for them, nothing. They just buy guns. Okay, and then go to gun range and practice . Okay, so basically what I'm saying is, in US, because everyone has a gun, the bosses never show their proudness to the workers. They cannot. They'll get shot. One of the biggest industrial accidents in US is workers shooting the boss. Okay, so they've always been good to the workers. They cannot be bad. Like the Kuching workers, the way the Kuching bosses were bad to the workers, I can tell you 100% they'll be shot in USA. Okay, that's how bad they were. Okay, so that's one country where bosses have always been good because of the guns. You know, I was working because I went to US without money, totally without money. I went one-way ticket, and then I mop the floor, wash the dishes, and summer holidays is a long holiday, right? Like semester break, I go to California, Los Angeles to work. So I was working in Taco Bell. It's just like McDonald's here. Okay, it's Mexican food, like a chain owned by Pepsi. So now we have lunch break also. So lunch break, you know what's the topic? Hey, how many AK-47 you have? How many M16 you have? How many? You know, it's not one or two. You know, they got so many. And then your AK-47 was a barrel size, how many inch? You know, this is the topic. You know, and we talk about, I don't know, other topics, computer game, football, whatever. They talk about guns. That's the topic. And the people working in this place are the poorest people in the country. You go to KFC Cebu. Are there rich people working there? No, they're just normal to poor people working as staff in KFC, right? And so these are the poorest people in America working in where I'm working. And they got so many guns. You see, California is not easy to get a gun. Like my state. My state is South Dakota. South Dakota is totally gun-free. Everyone can buy a gun anytime they want. Recently, the governor of South Dakota made it not only gun-free, like gun-free in South Dakota means your gun must be in your house, but you cannot carry anywhere. But recently, the governor of South Dakota said, you can carry your gun anywhere you want. You know why? Because there are some states trying to get rid of the gun law, like New York. So they want to restrict the gun. So the other states go the other way around. Okay, these states want to try to reduce the gun law. The other states, or both. There are two states already, like as far as I know. You can carry the gun anywhere. That means you are like back to cowboy style. I can imagine I went to the bank. I always go to one bank, my own bank, First National Bank. I can see a guy at the counter, girl. Nowadays, everyone with a gun. The counter girl probably with a pink gun. Okay. So, but you'll be surprised. In South Dakota, I never heard of a crime. Okay, there's no crime. How can you make a crime? You make a crime, someone shoot you. It's not the police shoot you. Your victim, the one you're trying to victimize will shoot you. So there's no crime. Okay? There's no crime in South Dakota. Okay, so you try to rob a house, the guy inside with a gun. So nobody has a grill on their house. Nobody has a fence around their house. Okay? And nobody locks the door. Can you imagine that? Even in my apartment, I'm living in an apartment building. Nobody locks the door. You can open the door anytime and just walk into people's house. But no one does that because the person inside has a gun. Okay? So that's why we learn some things. Of course, America has their own bad stuff and their own good stuff. But I mean, some of you, I'm sure, don't like America. But their good stuff is due to their history. They are the first democracy in the world. And their constitution was, we don't want to be like Europe. They mostly came from Europe. That's one thing bad about America. In the beginning, they were racist. They got a slave. And I don't know about you guys, Malays, Dayaks can go in or not. But I know Indians, we're not allowed to go in until 1965. First time Indians are allowed into the USA. Chinese were much earlier. Chinese can go in USA much earlier, but the Indians only allowed 1965. Okay, so that's some of the bad things in America, but the good things are good also. You see, their politics they make, because they were mostly Europeans, and the Europeans in Europe were all ruled by kings. Okay, the king will, any farm, okay, 80% of the money from the farm go to the king. You keep 20%, you struggle. I don't care. The king don't care. Okay. So when they started USA, the constitution is that we don't want the king anymore. We don't want anyone to even behave like a king. Rich men also cannot behave like a king. So the ownership of gun is not to shoot animals. in the Constitution, the ownership of gun is to make sure you shoot the guy who tried to be a king. Okay? If you're a politician who tried to be a king, you have to shoot him. That is really the Constitution of USA. Okay? It should protect the people from tyrants in politics. Okay? So the gun law is actually for that. It's not to shoot animals. There are not that many animals in USA to shoot anyway. There's US people own more guns than by far than the rest of the world combined military. Okay, you see, my state, the state that I studied is up here near the Canada border. That's why it's so cold, 6 months of snow. It's North Dakota and then South Dakota. I'm in South Dakota. Very few people there. It's just about 1 million people. But imagine that 1 million people, everyone has a machine gun. That is, China's military is 2 million soldiers. That small state has almost China's military people of soldiers practically, because they all have machine guns. Okay, so it's very hard for anyone to attack USA because everyone is a soldier. Okay, anyway. So the people I know, they're not interested in the small gun, the handgun, the pistol, and the piece of cake. They're not interested in that. They all buy machine guns. Okay. Anyway, so this is the history of management, okay. I guess that's why the USA became very successful. You see, why is the USA so successful? Some people say, hey, yeah, they're very lucky, like they got good land. They got a lot of land. Okay, China and USA has about the same land. Okay? And Russia is much bigger than USA. So why is USA more economically successful? It's all these things, lah. You know, treating the workers properly, not treating them like like bosses. You know, some countries are quite rich, but it's only the very few people are rich. The rest are poor. In USA, it tends to be a bit balanced because all these rules they have, like guns and all that. You cannot abuse people very much. I can tell you one story in Kuching. One of my colleague in Western Asia told me, he know 3 rich men. You know, they are some of Kuching's richest people. They go to pub, ask the waitress to crawl on the floor. Why? They got money, they can do it. It's just say like that. In USA, the boyfriend of that girl probably shoot that guy. Okay, so that's how it is, lah. Okay.
Danger.
What? The danger? No, actually, no. You know, I work in USA. I know everyone has a gun. I was distributing newspapers. Okay, because I have to work, right? So early morning, 4:30, like that, I start my route. Every time I walk, I remember any one of them can shoot me, and no one will know who shoot me. Everyone has a gun. You know, but no one shoots you. They all control themselves. They don't need the police to control you. Everyone control themselves. Okay, and California, all the big bad gangs, you know, the black gangs. They got name for them, I don't know. But I went into the black district. Nothing happened to me. They all have a gun. I don't have a gun. I am too poor to buy the gun. But anyone can shoot me, but they don't shoot. I mean, the crime rate in California, you know, California has a population equal to whole Malaysia. It's not California, sorry. Los Angeles has the whole Malaysia's population, 30 million. I mean, if you look at Google, they say, no, not 30 million. You know why? I'll show you why. Okay. Okay. This is LA, Los Angeles. They're separated into many, many cities. Harbor City, Lomita City. Actually, it's the same. You go between Los Angeles and Harbor City, not even a tree. You cannot find a tree there because it's actually a desert. It's just building, nothing of a building. 180 kilometers you travel it's just LA. From one end to the other is 180 kilometers. Imagine that. From Kuching to Sri Aman, nothing but building. That's how huge the city is. Okay. So it is definitely USA's largest city, but they purposely make it into different cities to get more funds from the federal government. Okay. And they need to be big because they cannot go up so much because it's an earthquake zone. So they don't go up. But it's the best place for anyone in the world to go because you are Malay, you are Iban, Bidayu, whatever, you go there, nobody knows you're not American. I seen a Malay girl who is American citizen, okay, with a child. I met her. So you got American citizens who are Malays, who are Ibans. You walk in a supermarket, only less than half of the people are whites. The rest are every kind of race in the world. So everyone can feel at home there. Okay. That's why California is quite rich, but now over the last 20 years, they've been screwed up. I don't know, some bad stuff is going on in USA. California is going down. I know some people are taking over California, bad people. Okay, anyway, so at least you know that about management. You don't be sombong to workers. I have always found it super advantageous to be very friendly to workers. For example, I have one row of machine under me. When I first joined, I walked from one day to another and crash here and there, definitely. So I asked the worker what's wrong, exactly what's wrong. They might not be very technical. Maybe out of Form 5 fail, they join the factory. Form 5 very bad grade, they join the factory, the workers lah. I think they don't allow Form 3. They allow Form 5 fail can join. Okay, but they are at the machine. They might not be very educated, but they are at the machine. So all my improvement projects I did on that machine, 27 different improvement projects, are all because I asked the workers what's wrong, exactly what is wrong. Okay, so they gave me all the ideas. So it's super advantageous to be very friendly with the workers. So by the time I finish with that machine, never crash. Imagine, it's between about maybe 50 meters to walk from one end of the row to another end of the row of my machines. And when I first joined that machine, I can see at least 2-3 crash just walking from one end to another end. By the time I left, never crash at all. It's all because of the workers giving me the feedbacks. Okay. Okay. Some states, like my state, South Dakota, had almost zero gun control. There are very few states, 3 states when I was there, that zero gun control. California had very strong gun control, but you know, California kind of people you've seen in the movies, they are kind of gangster. Mana dia beli dari kedai biasa. They have their black market to buy from. All the workers working with me in Taco Bell all bought their guns from the black market. Okay, so black market is without any government supervision, and of course the gun lobby, who don't like the tyrants of Europe, will support somehow. There are politicians in USA who will make sure the gun is free. So maybe California gives some rules on preventing the guns, but the politician say, okay, we sponsor black market in California. Now, something like that lah. Okay. So the main idea is to make sure everyone has a gun to protect themselves and shoot the bad boss. Okay. But I tell you, California has population of Malaysia, but the crime when I last left Los Angeles is equal to Malaysia. If Malaysia had 10 people die per month, Los Angeles has population of Malaysia. So if 10 people die per month in Malaysia due to crime, Los Angeles is about the same, even though everyone has a machine gun. Okay, it's about the same. Because here the crime, I heard my own brother was robbed in KL. The gangsters went to his house and took his safe and all that. The wife was scared like hell. The wife don't have a gun. Try to do it in US. The bad guys have, they feel superior. They got a power. They got a gun or something. I forgot. I didn't ask properly my brother that gangster got a gun or not. But yeah, I forgot lah. But in US, a gangster want to go to someone's house, they got to face their own death. Okay, so they won't go. Normally they don't steal. You see, the crime in US is normally big crime. They don't do small crime like robbing people's house. They have to be a big, well planned, like bank robbery or something. Must be untung banyak-banyak. $1 million profit. So they organize properly, well planned. Okay, they don't do robbing people's houses. Not worth it. They don't want to die just like that. Okay. I heard in some place in KL, I heard now they go for daytime robbery. They also want to sleep at night, so they rob people's house in daytime because they know people don't have guns. Okay, so that's the difference in USA versus Malaysia. So the crime is not there. People don't need to do crime when everyone has a gun. Okay, anyway, especially like women, some people, rape women. Women has a gun, they should do. Of course, there are some women who are nowadays in America because they've been brainwashed a bit. No, we don't want gun. There are a lot of people against gun in the US also. We don't want gun. Okay, it's there, they don't gun. They don't want to get raped. Okay. The ones who carry gun will get raped. Okay, so that's the difference. Okay. Telling you all this because one thing, just to explain to you why the safety accidents of US, number one is employee shooting the boss. Okay. In Malaysia is other things lah. And then I feel it develops attitude also because one of the reasons why accidents can happen in Malaysia is because the boss want to cheat. Obviously, a worker working with you will know you're cheating. I mean, Kantao, I know who my boss are cheating all through my life. Definitely lah. If my boss try to take some money, I know he's doing that. I'm working with him. I know, even though I'm not involved in his corruption or whatever. Of course, I know because I'm working in that field. Okay, so when everyone has a gun or something, there'll be less chance a boss will be so obviously doing some bad stuff. He might get shot. Okay, so. And because he's not doing some bad stuff, there's more safety. There's more safety in the organization because it's normally the bad stuff that leads to corruption that causes safety accidents. See, you do something bad, you use instead of the good wire, we change to bad wires, and the worker don't say anything in Malaysia. In US, I don't know. He can angry, he shoot you. Okay. That happens. So you cannot do really bad stuff because bosses don't have full authority. Okay, bosses don't have very strong authority over workers in USA. So that's why they are more safe. There are some communities in USA where they have almost no accidents at all. Okay, because they respect the workers respect them. So you cannot do bad stuff. I tell you, most of safety accidents are due to that. In electrical, there's a lot of safety issues. Okay, this one you must know. I'll give you an exam also. Right now. Okay. 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 You see, this is going to be a big problem in the next few years, because in the old days, people didn't do all these things. Now they're doing it. So in near future, we will see the consequence of all this lack of safety. Okay. Number one. Okay. Cu with Cu mixed with iron. You know how you can tell? You can tell by the color. Okay. If you see the color is a bit black, okay. Okay, we see the color a little bit black. That means they mix the Cu with iron. Why? Of course, iron is cheaper. Okay. So this is happening a lot. Okay. Okay, I give you an example. My father's house in Kuching, built in 1968. Okay. Okay. This is my father's house in Kuching, built in 1968. 68 means 53 years old. When I strip the wire, it's more shiny than the best wire in the market now. That means the best wire in the market, which is UC. Okay. Okay, UC is the best wire in the market in Kuching. Okay, universal cable. Okay. But my father's house, built 53 years ago, is better than that. Despite 53 years, imagine that. Normally wires will deteriorate. After a while, it turns black, right? But in 53 years of deterioration, is still better than the best in the market now. That's how bad it is now. Okay, UC is respectable. I mean, it's I don't know if you know the story of UC. UC was a Johor company, okay, and then the Sesco started a joint venture with UC. So they started a factory in Kuching, okay, and then it became big because I mean the Sarawak government project all use UC. Sesco definitely must use UC, okay, so it became very big. And then they start buying they buy the mother factory in Johor. Okay, UC bought the mother factory in Johor and start buying all the top cable manufacturing companies in Semenanjung. So UC is the largest cable manufacturer in Malaysia. Okay, you must know that, huh? UC is the largest in Malaysia now. I mean, they put a name on top of it. UC is still one branch, but it is. Okay, so they put a name on top of it for Sarawak Cable. Sorry, Sarawak Cable. And then they got so many branches, but one of them is UC lah. So the name of the cable is still UC. Okay. Okay. So that is one of the issue. Okay. Number two, plating AL cables okay. So this is another issue. Okay. Aluminum cables plated with copper. Cheating. Aluminum is a very bad material for electricity. That can be one of the questions in the exam. Let me write down. Okay. So, why is aluminum bad? I show you the screen, and then maybe you can take a print screen lah. Okay. Why aluminum is bad? Okay. They still use aluminum because aluminum is cheap, and we got pressed metal making aluminum. You know, pressed metal is second largest factory in Sarawak after MLNG. Okay. So they make aluminum. Actually, aluminum is the third most abundant. Okay. Aluminum is the third most abundant element on Earth. Okay. Okay. So you dig any soil anywhere, there's some aluminum inside. Okay. So pressed metal can just dig any of Sarawak soil, they can get aluminum, but they find it cheaper because some place in Australia, when you dig, the quantity of aluminum is more. So that's why they import the soil from Australia, where the percentage of aluminum is even more. Okay, so so that's why aluminum cable is becoming very popular, but because it's cheap. Okay, the price is coming down all the time. Okay, look at it this way. So aluminum price going down this way every year. Copper price going up every year. Okay, so obviously people want to go for aluminum since it's still a conductor, but the issues with aluminum so this will be one of the question in the exam, I tell you. Okay, number one, okay. So number one, it forms a layer of corrosion, okay, outside it in microseconds. I told you the story just now. My father's house is 53 years ago. It's still not corroded. Why is it not corroded? When copper gets corroded, it becomes black. After black, after a long time, it turns green. That's the final color of aluminum. Okay, aluminum. Sorry, I made a mistake. Copper, when it corrodes, it has many colors. Okay, it's a unique metal. It has so many different colors. So in the very old times, the artists, they use aluminum to make pictures because they change into many colors. They burn a little bit, burn a lot, it changes different colors. So they can make pictures with aluminum. Okay, so yes, it's the most multicolor element out there. Okay, just depending on how much oxygen you put inside, and then the green is actually sulfide. So the final of oxygen is black color. Okay, for aluminum. Sorry, for copper. Okay, when you get corroded, the final one is black. Okay, and then sulfur come in because I remember about sulfur. So in the end, it turned green. Yes, so that's the final color of copper, green color. Okay. Okay. So you see, my father's house, I told you, shining like gold after 53 years. Okay. Aluminium microseconds. What's the problem with that? Okay. All metal oxides are insulators. Okay. Copper, if you see a copper black color, you don't join black color together. You know why? It's very dangerous. Black color copper, you join another black color copper. It might conduct a little bit, okay? But what's happening, it cannot go through the black color because black color is copper oxide. So it will arc. Arc means jumping, okay? Jumping from the copper to the next copper. And arc is just like lightning. Spark, yeah? And in electrical, we don't say spark, we say arc. So it's jumping across the black color. And it's just like lightning, it's very powerful. It's very high voltage. So when it's very high voltage and arc like that, it's just like welding. Okay? So, and the problem with arc is you will melt the material. You melt the copper or the aluminum. Okay? But you see, like I said, the copper 53 years, there's no change in color. It doesn't, after 53 years, it's not even corroded a little bit. But aluminum in microseconds. So aluminum's color is white. I mean, the aluminum is like silvery, right? But the oxide is white. Okay, the more corroded is more white, like you know, powder. Okay, and the aluminum oxide is a non-conductor, so it will jump across. It's a bit conductive, so it jump across. But problem is, okay, so aluminum melts at 600 degrees centigrade. Copper melts at 1,000 something. See, you already got a problem with the corrosion happening very fast, and then it melts faster again. So what's going to happen? Wire will burn. Okay, wire start burning, and burning, once it burns, okay, okay, once it burns, you get short circuit. The life and neutral touch each other because you burn the plastic covering, right? So eventually, somehow, you might get life and neutral touching. One short circuit happen is a different story. 12,000 amp. You know, even a normal household single-story house, it's only about 20, 30 amp. You know, you on all your TV, aircon, it's only about 20, 30 amp. Okay, but short circuit, you're talking about 12,000 amp. It's like welding, lah. Okay, it's immediately you rush very fast. Okay, I experienced this one time. You know, once a year, they have a Parayan, so they asked me to fix about 20 frozen tube. So every year they call me. So I use the cheap red and black wire. I use that lah. So I recycle every year. I just use the same wire. But over the time, the plastic got damaged, so it was actually short already lah. So I was confident, wearing my slipper, short pants. I did the whole wiring. Okay, finish on. And I can feel the heat go right through my slipper into my leg. You know, that is short circuit. Okay, you can travel so fast and so hot. That is short circuit. Okay, so short circuit is the biggest cause of a building burning. Okay, because it's so powerful. If you see electrical fire, building burning, guarantee short circuit. That's that thing. Okay, so that's why in MCB, you know, your normal MCB of your house. I have it here. Let me try to find. I think I have it here. Okay, this is MCB. Okay. You can see the numbers there.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so one of the number is C6, right? C6 means the okay. The C6 means the overload rating is 6 amps. Okay, that means beyond 6 amps, the MCB will trip. So how it trips, there is a bimetal in there. That means there's a copper and iron. Copper melt faster than iron, so you bend this way. And here there's a lever. You press a lever. Press a little bit, the spring will do the rest. Okay? How you imagine this is just like, okay, there's few people behind the door, pushing on the door. And you can use your leg, your toe, to just hold the door. You can try it. 3 people at the back pushing also, you can use your toe, just hold it. You let go of your toe, boom, they'll rush in. So the spring is held by something like a toe, a small little lever. And then the bimetal, push it a little bit, boom, the spring will do the rest. All electrical systems, tripping systems are that way. Okay? Big giant Cisco systems also the same. It's just pushing. Okay? It's all that way. From giant Cisco to the household MCB, same thing. Okay, you can see another number there. Any of you can read that number?
Yes.
What's the number?
4500.
Okay. So okay. So 4500 means the short circuit rating is 4,500. The meaning is the normal current, your motor is 5 amps, but something wrong with the motor, the bearing jam, it takes 7 amps, so more than 6 amps. Overload will happen. That's overload rating. But short circuit happen, the amp is crazy, right? Like this. Okay. So the amp can reach 12,000 amps. Okay. The meaning is the normal rating is 6 amp, that's overload rating. But if short circuit happen, it can handle up to 4,500. Beyond that, it cannot handle. When it's like this, it cannot handle, too high. Okay. So hopefully more short circuit is only this amp or and below, it can trip. Okay, it's using two different mechanisms. Okay, the short circuit is using a solenoid. Okay, so they very cleverly make a solenoid using thick wire. This is the old technology, like in the old days for cars also they use that. You want high amp to trigger a solenoid, you make it with thick wire. You want low amp to trigger it, you make it with thin wire. So they purposely make it with thick wire, so only high amp can make it a solenoid. Otherwise, current can go through as if it is not a solenoid. Okay, so that's why there's two different mechanisms in MCB. Okay, this is called MCB. Okay, it's not written here, but this Schneider is one of the top brand lah. Okay, Schneider Electric is number 4 brand. Okay, you must know the brand lah. Next time you are electrical engineer, you must know the brand. Number 1 in the world is GE. Number 2 is Siemens. Number 3 is ABB. This in terms of sales, market sales value lah. Okay. Number 4 is Schneider. Okay. So GE is number 1 in terms of sales, how much sales they make per year. Okay. Number 2 is Siemens. Number 3 is ABB. Number 4 is Schneider. Okay, like China has right now the largest electric system in the world, but their system is mostly made by these two, Siemens and ABB. Okay. But GE is still the world largest. They are very strong in gas turbines. Okay, Schneider makes, I mean, all this makes everything, but they focus on different things. So this one make mostly the household, factory, office things like this. Okay, so Schneider focus on that. ABB is very champion of motors. The largest motor in the world, they're the one to make it. Yeah, who use the largest? Ships. You know, ship propeller last time used to be combustion engine driving the propeller, just like your boat. I think all of you are from Kuching, right? You take the Sarawak River, go across. It's a combustion engine turning the propeller, right? Big ships that they make in Miri, they stopped doing that. They still use combustion engine, run a generator, and generator produces electricity to run a motor, and the motor is the one that turns the propeller. All big ship in Miri, and basically the whole world is using that method now. Why? Because when you have a combustion engine driving a propeller, and ship propeller is not ala, it's like bigger than most people's house. Okay, so when the waves start moving, the combustion, you can't do that to a combustion engine; it gets spoiled. But electric motor with just coils around and a rotor in the center, never mind, I guess you handle it. Okay, so all big ship in the world have moved to electric motor. Okay, so still use combustion engine, run a generator produces electricity to run the electric motor to run the propeller. Okay. 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 So remember, all electric devices have two ratings: the overload rating and the short circuit rating. Okay, overload rating and short circuit rating. Remember that, huh? Guarantee one question in your exam. I better write down to forget. Nowadays, lecturers have to start writing the exams already. 3. So you must be able to explain how the MCB work, which I haven't told you. I mean, I told you just now, just roughly a bit. I haven't showed you a picture yet. How it works and what is the meaning of overload and short circuit rating. Okay. So even Giant Cisco one, they have Giant Cisco one is a crazy amount of amps. They're talking about 45 kilo amps. This switch, just like this switch, but giant Cisco one, you're talking about 45 kilo amp, 60 kilo amp, that kind of amps. Okay, that means a short circuit they can handle that much. Okay. Okay, first, so these are aluminum issues. I'll send you all these notes now. Okay. Okay. So remember, I just go through again. Aluminum issues, it form a layer of oxides in microseconds, while copper forms after 53 years or so, not yet even slightly corrode. See, copper, it looks golden. Initially, if it's pure copper, it looks golden. That's why I think in the old days, some people cheat. They use copper instead of gold, okay? Of course, the expert can see, but no people cannot see the difference. Copper, one of the first color is orange. You burn copper a little bit, it turns orange, okay? That orange color definitely not a golden color. People know this is not copper already, okay? And then so many different colors, including blue and finally black, and in the end it's green, okay? So my father's house, 1953 till now, not even a bit, not even turn orange, it's still golden color. So 53 years of copper, not even changed color, not even a bit of corrosion, whereas aluminum become oxide in microseconds. Okay, it melts at a very low temperature. While copper melts at 1002. Even my school, I think I told you guys I have a school in Kuching. It was 1980. My father's house 1968. My school 1980. Same quality. I did a rewiring because I have to find the cheapest place to rent in Kuching to make a school, and it was a total mess like that place. I don't know, the last person who ran it wanted to sabotage the whole place. So I had to redo the whole thing. All the plug point, all damaged. They really broke everything before they left. So I redo everything and I did all the refining myself. I tell you, those wires are shiny like crazy. I mean, you cannot get that kind of shiny wires anymore. That's why some of you, maybe your parents want to rewire your house. You better think properly. You'll never get the original quality. Better somehow use back the old wires. Okay. I see a lot of people ask me, I want to rewire. You never get the old time quality of wires. Okay. Nobody's making it. Okay. So it's somehow maybe you use the same wire but put new switches maybe if you want. Okay. Because even the switches are bad quality nowadays. Okay. Okay. And then this one is important when you safety issue. You see, like a lot of people in Sarawak, for this one is Snyder, right? I only buy Snyder. A lot, if you see most connected, Hager, paling bagus punya, Hager. But where is Hager? Both Snyder and Hager are French products. Hager is somewhere down the line there. These people up there. Of course, when you're up there, you can hire the best scientists, right? Common sense. Okay, so obviously the scientists are better. Like GE, they got 300,000 people, and they got some of the top electrical people in the whole world they can hire. They say whichever country top, okay, come join me. Okay, obviously they got the smartest brain. So it's important for you to know, especially like Sarawak government, they want to do wind turbine. Wind is not for Sarawak because we don't have enough wind. But if you see the world like this, the wind's on top and the bottom. The equator is windless. Okay, but what they do, they just go and hire whatever contractor they find. Okay, can you make wind turbine for me? So where they put it, Telok Malanau. I think most of you know where Telok Malanau is. The end of Sarawak. You know, the Sarawak look like a chicken, right?
Yeah.
the end of Sarawak near Lundu, the end of Lundu is Teluk Malanau. So obviously the most wind, right? Because the sea on both sides, so you get the most wind, right? But they didn't use any of these people. They find some ala contractor, put it there, it didn't even turn. Okay, so if you know who is the best, you hire the best. Obviously, your project will work. So second time, the second try, okay, they won't fail. So they said, hey, Barrio is a hill, a lot of wind over there. Okay, put on Barrio, also cannot turn. You see, the problem is you hire the people, they'll get it working. You know why? When you have low wind, your wind turbine fin must be longer. There's a calculation for it. According to this low wind, your fin must be wider. You cannot get a China wind turbine and put here. It cannot work. China got much more wind than us. Okay, so that's how you need to use these people. You get the top people with the most engineers in the world and history. See, I study in US, so I find history makes a lot of difference. You know, they got historical data of all the things. You know, information is so much over there. They got experiments done 50 years ago. These are kept secret, company secret. But if you could join a company, you have all these secrets. 50 years, 60 years, 70 years, I mean, GE is like 120 years old. Okay, started by Thomas Edison. So they got all the company secrets from 120 years you can access once you're an engineer there. Obviously, you can do a better job. People already try so many things. Like right now, I'm doing FYP with my friend, my research project with my FYP. We tried so many things, still haven't worked. I can tell you. Hopefully tomorrow we try something that can work. But you see, if someone can tell us what is the best straight away, we can do that one. We've been trying this for long. I tell you, we work like hell. Every Thursday, my FYP and me work until no more energy. Okay, but it's still not working properly because we are doing a micro hydro for a kampong about 4 hours from Miri. With no hills. Yeah, the river is flat. So we got to design a screw, a screw turbine, which is flat. We must put it in the middle of the river because the river now go up and down a lot. Yeah, so we got to put it in the middle of the river and then let it suck. At least because it's a hilly region, the water is one direction. So let it turn our screw turbine and hopefully make some electricity. We got some ideas after all the trying, but experimentation. But you see, if you're working for GE, we don't have to try. People already tried this. We can just look at it. Oh, they tried this one like that answer. See, so we can solve a lot of time if we are from a giant company. Okay. 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 So. Okay. Okay. Let me show you the one thing about the aluminum. Okay. So this is the notes you take a print screen of this lah. Okay. I wonder why. Let me see. I never tried this because I found out from my last class that when I open a PowerPoint and then already open and I move to the next screen don't show up. I didn't know. I thought the students were seeing it, but they cannot see. But okay, I ready. Can you tell me what you see?
Okay.
Okay, let me see. I want to try this. Your entire screen. Okay, what do you see now?
nothing, sir. Can see the screen. Can see the share screen.
Okay, wait. Let me see. Let me move to something else. What can you see now?
Also nothing, sir.
Oh, so it doesn't work. I tried something new, but it doesn't work. Totally blank.
No, sir. The screen that you share doesn't pop up.
Okay. So this doesn't work. Let me try. Go back. So present window. Okay. Okay. Now, what do you see?
Resistivity of some
Okay.
metal.
Okay. Let me turn to another slide. Do you see what do you see now?
Yes, PVC cable current.
Oh, it does work. I don't know why my last class last Friday I changed. Okay, let me try one more time. Okay, okay, now you see resistivity of some. Wait, sorry. Now what do you see?
PVC cable current.
Okay. Let me try this one. I try full screen. Can you see full screen?
Yes.
Okay, I change screen. What do you see?
Nothing changed, sir.
Oh, so full screen doesn't work. Okay. So not full screen can work. Okay. If I let this, okay. Now,
Still the same, sir.
still what resistivity?
PVC cable current.
Okay. Okay. Now.
Size of conductor.
Okay. Now I get it. This is also important for you for your FIP. When you use full screen and change screen, it doesn't change because there's a chance that your FIP might be online. I don't know why. You use full screen and change screen, it doesn't change screen. But if you use not full screen, it can change screen. I don't know why. And this is my experiment with you already. Okay. I found this because I recorded my last Friday class and I found out, I'm talking one thing about my screen is still the same. Okay, now, what do you see?
Trifoil cabling.
Okay, good. Okay, I just test one last time. I put full screen. I change screen. What do you see?
Still trifoil cabling,
Okay,
but
okay.
not in full screen, sir.
What? Not full screen?
Yes, not full screen.
Okay. So confirm lah. You use full screen. Okay, now I try without full screen. What do you see now?
The table single core cables.
Okay. So at least you all can know. I can teach you also next time. In case you have a FIP presentation. When you use full screen and change screen, it doesn't change for the audience. But you don't use full screen, it can change. I don't know why lah. Okay. And next time you remember when you do your presentation. And then if your lecturer asks you why you don't put full screen, you tell them that's the reason lah. We already do experiment.
Okay,
I don't know why Google Meet have to improve lah. Okay. So this is the all the data. You can take print screen of this lah for your exam. Basically, just now I told you 600, right? It's actually 660. Let me check my notes. 660, the melting point of aluminum. 660. Okay. And then just now I said copper 1200 June lah, still the same. Okay. So all of you take print screen of this. There's a lot of information there for you to know. Okay. One more question I can ask you for your exam is Let me write down. Okay. Okay. I can ask you one more. I already write down. Why is solder bad for conduction of electricity? That means you must, the way you solder, there's a way, okay? You know why? Because solder, solder used to be lead and then mostly lead and a little bit tin. Tin means Timah, right? Timah, Malaysia. Okay. You see where is tin? Tin is number 11 in conductivity. Lead is number 13. Now it is mostly tin. Then 60% tin and 40% lead. Maybe lead has become hard to find already. So right now the Malay word for the solder is Timah, right? It is more appropriate now. Okay. The English word is lead because it used to be more lead, but the English didn't change. They still call it lead. Okay. Malay came as a later language, so they call it Timah, which is more correct. Okay, because it's mostly tin. Okay. So that's why when you join two copper wires, you never let solder in between because they are number 11, number 15 conductors, very bad conductors. Copper is number 2. Okay, when you join two wires like that, don't let the solder get in between. Okay, so that's why the British join. All our electrical specs are from England, right? The old English specs. Yeah, it's not just for electrical, even for roads. They use British standard. I met one civil engineer doing the Borneo Height because at the bus, I take the bus and then the bus has stopped somewhere, so I started talking to him. He said, "Yeah, he's an engineer for the Ben Borneo." So where's the specs from? He said, all from England. They call it British specs. So in electrical, we use IEE. Okay. Okay. So we use IEE specs. Okay. Institute of Electrical Engineering. But actually, if you go to Google and check what is this, they say that don't exist anymore. Okay. So the IEE has already changed to IET. Okay. But if you go to any electrical paper in Sarawak, they still call it IEE. IEE 17 editions like this, so you gotta follow. Okay. So okay, if you look at the specs for wiring, okay. I think I showed you this before, but never mind. Let me refresh it again. Okay, you see, this is a Britannia joint. Okay, you look at the joint. These are the standard IEE joint. Okay, they put 2 copper wires and then they roll with thin copper a lot, 50 mm. Okay, that's about almost 2 inch. That's about 1 inch, right? So about this much. Okay, 50 mm of thin wire roll around. Okay, and then only they solder. Okay, why they do this? Okay, let me write down in your exam. What is this? Okay, I'm going to ask you this question for your exam. Why Biana joint is the way it is? Okay, it's one of the recommended British standard joint. Why like this? So your answer is you want max. Yes, conductivity. You want maximum copper-copper connection. And why you have to roll so close to each other, this thin wire? You never want solder to get in between. That's why it must be so tight. It cannot be loose, this one. You say that the rolling must be very, very tight. Can you see my mouse?
Yes.
Okay, see, yeah? Okay. Some people say cannot see. Okay, now confirm can see lah. Okay, you see, this one, they roll very, very tight. No space for the solder to get in between. So your joint is fully copper. The solder is a very bad conductor. I can ask you for this particular joint. I can tell you your exam question now lah. Okay, this is the joint, and why is like that. You see, 2 things you must know. They want copper connection. Second thing, you must solder every joint. The original spec is solder. Now loose like crazy. The specs all loose like crazy. You know how's the joint now? You see, CIDB is Construction Industry Development Board. They asked me to go and interview all the contractors. Anyone who want to be contractor, boss, supervisor, they must come to me because I am in electrical, so they always call me. Oh yeah, that reminds me. This week I think I got an interview. Oh shit. Where's my phone? Oh. Let me just confirm before I forget. Oh, sorry. Okay. Oh, okay, so 21/4. Not this week. It's the week after. 21/4. Okay, so they asked me to go all over Sarawak to conduct interview for all contractors. So they've been calling me for long ago, I think about 6-7 years. So I've been traveled all over Sarawak from Kuching, all the way Cebu, Miri, until Lawas. So the contractor will all come to us, and then M&E means they come to me. So two questions I always ask them. One, how long your motor lasts? Every contractor say lasts maximum 6 years. That means every pump lasts 6 years only. Maximum. That's the best pump they can find. Okay. Second thing I always ask them, do you join wires? 100% tell me they join wires. You know, Cisco rule is cannot join wires. In fact, I took my last exam in Cisco. You know, I took a lot of exams in Cisco. I can show you my. Wait. Okay. Wait. Okay. Okay, I just send you all the exams I took lah. Okay. So my last exam, I asked the Cisco teacher, do you allow joints? It was just not last year, the year before, because last year COVID, right? The year before that. Do you allow joints? No, cannot. But you know what? CIDB, Construction Industry Development Board, have asked me to ask every contractor. I asked me to interview every contractor, and I asked them two questions. One is how long your motor lasts, and two, do you join? 100% of contractors join. Okay, so I know more than what Cisco really knows. Okay, Cisco they set a rule, but nobody is following the rule. Okay, so how they join? Every single contractor, they say, they get one wire here, another wire here. They got a copper tube they put in between. They cream it, and then they tape. 100% there's a standard in Sarawak. But Cisco don't seem to know this. But another guy told me Cisco knows about it. So it depends lah. The instructor in the training school said, no, cannot. But a contractor who is a good friend of mine, a very big contractor, he told me he showed to the Cisco staff. And Cisco said, okay, approve. You know why this is so wrong? You know, when you stress a metal, you need to anneal it, okay? Okay. For Cisco, they, after stressing, you know what they do? You know the bonnet of the car, they get a sheet of metal, and then they stamp it with a big machine, pump, it becomes a bonnet. Then they have to annihilate at 500 degrees centigrade for 24 hours. Okay? What's the meaning of that? You see the atoms are stressed, you know. So when you heat it up, it relieves the stress. If you don't do that, the metal is very weak and brittle. Very dangerous, especially in a car. Okay? I'll give you an example. Okay. Okay. Okay, you see this one is a standard Chashman exam. You have to build this whole circuit and then join to a three-phase motor, runs one section of your 4 tasks of your practical you pass. Tidak jalan, guarantee fail lah. Okay. So we used to use cable lock here. Okay. Okay. So we used to use cable lock. Okay, like this, cable lock. So the wire we put here, crimp, and then we close the nut. So I was teaching, but that time I was working for another tauke school tauke. So he sent me to Cebu, behind Delta Mall, the school. And then they don't break. You know why? Because my operation is different. Normally in industry, you screw one time, nobody touch the wire. My student have moved the wire all the time, right? Guarantee 2 days it break. Why? Because it's stress. The stress point where you crimp this one is a stress point, it's a weak point. You move the wire, it breaks easily. Yeah. So luckily, one of the Cebu Sesco guys not Cebu, actually he's from Kapit. So he told me just do like this. Wait. Okay. So he said just strip the wire. This is a wire, this is a copper, right? You strip it and make a hole between the wires, and then put the screw in there and tighten the nut. After I do that, 6 years of student moving it, nothing happened in my school. 6 years of student moving the wire, nothing happened. Imagine the difference from 2 days to 6 years. Okay, there's small things are very critical. Apparently, the Cisco guy told me this is how they always do it in the old days before they invented the crimp lock. It's a crimp lock. Okay. There's a crimp lock. The old method was this one. Old method still the best. If you study electrical like me for a long time, most of the old method is the best. You know why? The old method, people haven't learned how to cheat. Nowadays, everyone cheating. They want your stuff in your house and your office and factory to last minimum possible. So you buy new one. Okay? Everyone is cheating, I tell you. So I don't know. Hopefully someone will come and change the system. But right now, greed is very high. So people cheat a lot in every sector of electrical engineering.
Must be careful. Oh.
No, that's why for me, I only go to one shop. To buy parts like this, only go to one shop in Kuching because I already studied. I know one shop called Crown Engineering supply the best thing. So I only go to that shop. So we must be very careful when you do electrical now. It's not like in the old days, everyone sell about the same stuff. Now I only trust one shop. For meters, I go to one shop in Bintulu. Okay, so basically two of the best shops in Sarawak. One shop in Bintulu called, I seem like a promoter for this shop. Crown Engineering. Okay. So I go to this Crown Engineering for all the things like this, and I go to Impere, Park City, Bintulu, for all the meters, multimeter, 100% trustable, only this one. You know why? They supply to oil and gas. You cannot supply fake things to oil and gas. They ban your shop. So meters, the best is this one. For all other things, the best is this one. Okay, so that's why you must be very careful when you do electrical, because you see, you cannot say I do a project and then it failed because of one of the bad parts, right? You cannot tell the customer, hey, not me, the supplier tell me wrong thing. Oh, you are electrical engineer or electrical contractor. You are supposed to study, which is a good thing. That's one of your job. Locally, who is the best? Internationally, who is the best? That's your job. Okay. Okay. So that's why this method is totally wrong. Okay, crimping wrong. So how I do, I'll show you a picture how I do. Okay, I solder using this this thing. I think most of you have seen this. They use for barbecue, right? So, but I don't burn the whole cable. I don't burn the whole joint. I just I can show you one of my next class lah. But I strip 3-inch. Here I strip 3-inch, and then I do like that. I tighten very tight. I tighten very tight, and I blow only the end. I already tried. I blow the rest. The solder won't stick to it because it already become oxide. The first oxide is orange color, right? The solder won't stick to it. So I blow the end. The heat will travel. And the solder, I don't let solder in the roll. I take out from the roll. I already tried. You must take out the solder from the roll. If not, you cannot handle it properly. So I take very long, and I just drop it on this because the heat will travel very fast. It's very hot. This burner. Drop it, and let it cool. Cut out the end. Cut out the end. Bend down, and then tape. Tape only one tape. 3M tape. Okay. So remember, this answer for one of your question exam. Okay. I'll send you this after this. Okay. Okay, that's the end of class. See you next week.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.